everyone, welcome to another process video. So I'm making another layout today using the kit that I made for the Scrap Your Stash club, and using predominantly autumn colours. We're just heading into spring here, so autumn seems far from my mind, but that's what we're using. And I've picked that background piece of paper is from Basicgrey. It's a new collection from Kelly Purkey called Second City, and that piece was called Kedzie. So it was a beautiful different gradients of orange, and you can't really see there, but in the bottom of the page it actually has like little gold spots all over it. So at the moment I've picked out a few little pieces. You can see the little tray there, or the little to the left, with all the little bits and pieces that I used in the last kit. And so I'm going to be using that, and I showed you a few Project Life cards that I've pulled out, and so this one I'm sticking with the oranges and going with some darker greys to blacks. So that piece of paper was from a 6x6 pad there, the one I'm cutting up, and I'm not sure who that was from at the moment, but the piece under it is from the 6x6 Kelly Purkey pad as well, and has a cool orange pattern on it. So I found those little pieces that I'm cutting apart now. I think it was either a very old Bo Bunny collection or a very old Basicgrey collection. I think that it could have been a Bo Bunny collection, so I use a lot of those little elements on this layout today. And so this camera here is from an Amy Tangerine Project Life card, and so I didn't want to use the whole card, but I wanted to use that cool little camera as a part of an embellishment for the page. So just grabbed my corner chomper and rounded that corner that was poking out. Okay, so here I am deciding I wanted to match that photo onto that piece of paper, but here's me not wanting to waste anything, and I thought you're not really going to see the strip in the middle, so I may as well just cut it apart and add the little strips to the side, and that way I have the piece that was in the middle to use for another layout. So just trimming up those little pieces there to make them even. And reassembling it to how I had it before, but I can never remember exactly how I had it, so I'm just playing again with the clusters and getting them near enough. Looking through the little tray to see what I have. That little clock there is one of the die cuts from the new Chamel collection, so that was really cute and had the colours that matched, so I wanted to use that. And I've used the rest of the Project Life card that I cut the Amy Tangerine clock from, so it's no point in wasting it. I've tucked it underneath and used it as one of my elements. So just because something's been cut out of the middle, you can still use the other little bits in there, and no one would be able to tell that it's only a half piece of card under there. So at the moment I have placed a branding strip at the top, so I'm trying to look to see, I can't decide whether I want something up the top or not, and the branding strips that I had, if they were the two matching branding strips, one had been cut off a little bit shorter, so it doesn't quite make it all the way across the page. So I'm just having a little fiddle here and seeing what I like. So I actually cut the video, and when I've decided to put a branding strip up the top, I cut it out and I spared you the pain of watching me fiddle with this silly branding strip. I cut the little strip and I stuck it on and it was wrong, and I pulled it off and I stuck it on again and I still had it wrong and I pulled it off, and then I wasn't sure, so I tried something else, and then I decided to put it back anyway. So to make the video a little bit shorter, I actually just cut that whole process out, and you don't get to see that, but you will see, oh, there's a branding strip, where did that come from, up the top. So hopefully it won't jump too much, and I think this is it here. I'm trying to cut it, and there you go. So now, voila, I have a nice pattern up the top, and it will jump again a little bit later for the bottom section, where I put a strip on the bottom as well. So at the moment I'm sticking everything together. I've decided that I'm happy with all of that placement, and so now I'm just deconstructing and making it work, putting it all back together again. So this is a fiddly process, but it's a fun process too. So for me, the whole scrapbooking is relaxing, it's enjoyable. I'm a slow scrapbooker, so they take me a while. I think this one took me like an hour and a half or so, maybe an hour and 10 minutes, not including the time it took to gather the supplies and find what I want. So, you know, that's okay. I don't try to speed scrapbook. I'm painfully slow when I look at my videos and haven't put them in fast forward. I look like, what am I doing? Why am I moving so slow? But I don't know, I just am a slow scrapbooker. I think I'm thinking lots and sometimes maybe overthinking. So you'll see me fuss a lot with these little elements of flowers and trying to get the little clusters just right, and I move them around, and until I actually decide where they want to go. So lots of fussing from me, but you'd be used to that by now, and like I say, that's just a part of the process, and I have to see where it wants to go first before I can commit to it. So sometimes I put it down and decide, no, that I don't like the look of that, and just pull it off. So there was one of the little bits that had the piece missing out of the middle, and you can't tell with that tucked underneath there that it is missing. So just continuing on with filling some of the little empty spaces, the little gaps, with some of the die cut elements, and getting those tiny little pieces of paper and trying to make them work. So that little orange tab that I have been playing with on the layout, I fiddled with and I moved around and I put it from one side to the other and didn't actually use it at all in the end. Couldn't quite find where to place it, so I decided to use it for another time. So there I am, fiddling with the bottom section and what I'm going to do there, and I cut that out and have got the strip at the bottom stuck down. And I'll spare you again. So here I am getting the letter stickers, and I'm writing "You Are Loved," and so I put that on the wax paper, and I'm ready to stick that whole section down now, and then I will put the title on. So that little orange sticker on the photo says "Sweetheart," and under the photo says "Remember this," and so in the white letters I've put "You Are Loved." So "Sweetheart, remember this, you are loved." I think as parents we want to remind our children all the time that they are loved, and so you can't tell them too many times, and so I thought I'd put that in a scrapbook, and that's a visual reminder too whenever she looks at that. So I'm committing to putting that little vellum piece, and I stuck the double-sided tape and realised I'd put it on the wrong side, so had to take that off. And I am fussing there with millimetre precision, and it doesn't really matter. So I've stuck it down and I am sticking that camera on. A little bit of foam tape to give that a little bit of dimension on the page, and sticking that last little flower in, and I reckon I'm done. So here I am putting my splatters, and this time down the bottom I make a big giant mess. Didn't quite go where I wanted it to go. I tried to fix it up with the paintbrush, but it is what it is. So I will show you some close-ups. So just cleaning off there and show you some close-ups, and that will be it. So thank you for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Bye!